Ignorance leads to fear. Fear leads to hatred. Hatred leads to violence. Ignorance leads to fear. Fear leads to hatred. Hatred leads to violence. If you look around the world nowadays, most of the violence that we see is led by hatred, which is led by fear, which is led by ignorance. So to solve that issue, to solve that problem, it would be suitable to solve the root cause of that problem, of that issue, which is ignorance. So why do we have that ignorance? And it's funny that us in the 21st century, most of us claim that we are open-minded and that we do accept other people. We do accept other people's opinion, religion, ideology, you name it. So I say, what support do we have for that claim? The other thing is, you see, knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. So let me ask you this. What will you lose if you get more knowledge? What will you lose if you get more knowledge and more power? It's just like money, for example. If someone gives you money and they didn't steal it or anything, you deserve it, why would you say no? So why would you say no to knowledge? It's easy. Just don't be ignorant. We need to stop being puppets. We need to stop having the mainstream media, news, or politicians pull the strings whenever and however they like. And the funny thing is, when you get the knowledge, when you know about something, that doesn't mean you have to accept it. That doesn't mean you have to agree with it or practice it. You just need to know, because it's good for you and it's power. It would give you more power. It would give you more reasoning in this world. It would give you like a shield, like a just shield to know the truth. It's kind of like a filtration system. For example, if you go into it like a debate and then you end up losing that debate, you didn't lose, honestly. If you lost that debate and you were convinced with their idea or with their opinion, if their opinion is correct, you didn't lose. You won. And if you won that discussion and you were right with your opinion, and you still won. So it's like a win-win situation. So, I mean, just reflect upon this. What would you lose if you know more about that thing? And instead of just being ignorant about it, then you kind of like, you develop a fear from it, and then you start hating it for no reason. And most probably, for many at least, they would be violent against it in some shape or form. So again, to solve that root cause of the issue. You see, the reason why I'm mentioning this is because of all the violence that I'm seeing against my people, Islam and Muslims. I just like wonder why. What is it about Islam and Muslims that many people hate, that many people just are ignorant about. Why do many people listen to the mainstream media or those Islamophobic like ideologies and the same routine over and over and over? How come? And for example, I heard someone saying that Islam was spread by the power of the sword or the force of the sword. Like, honestly, what claim do you have for this? How do you support your claim about this? How did that happen? Just tell me. I mean, if Islam was spread by the sword, as you claim, how come we see many churches in the world still standing from, like, even from before the time of Islam, in Jerusalem, in many places in the Middle East? I mean, Muslims rule the Middle East. And the other thing you see, for example, nowadays, Indonesia, which is the largest Muslim country in the world by people. Do you know how they became Muslim? Do you know how Islam spread in Indonesia or Malaysia or many countries? By people who do like trades, by merchants, by business. They saw the morals and the wisdom and the transparency of those people, and they liked what they saw. So they got the knowledge, they educated themselves, and they knew that there is such a religion or ideology that teach them these morals, that teach them these values, and tell them that you cannot steal, you cannot be unjust to people. And it taught them equality, it taught them fairness. So ask yourself, and even nowadays, you see many non-Muslims, they became Muslim eventually. Did someone force them? I mean, I know many people in the Western world, whether they're like in America or in Europe or many countries, they became Muslims. Did someone force them? And many of them, they were like, they hated Islam basically. They hated with passion, and they were active in their hate. Yet, eventually they became Muslims. Who forced them? Why and how is that possible that they became Muslims after all? One of them is someone who was in the Marine. Richard McKinney, I believe this is his name. Richard McKinney. He's an ex-Marine. He was like truly developed hate for Islam. He saw many of his friends got injured or killed, and I believe he was injured as well. And then he saw like the Muslim community growing in his state, in the United States. So he just decided to take his hatred and like take action basically. And I believe he wanted to like attack a mosque or something. Funny enough, he started learning about Islam because, not because he wanted to learn, he wanted to get to know that religion so he would know the weaknesses of that religion, so he can expose Muslims, so he can show the world the true values or the truth about Islam. And he had like, even had like a plan to attack the mosque, when to do it, how to do it, I mean, he was like a soldier after all. He was like a warrior. So he got all the training and all the materials and everything. And eventually, he is now a Muslim. How did that happen? Because he's not ignorant anymore. Again, I'm not saying you need to be a Muslim. I'm not saying that. I mean, if you want to, of course. But all I'm saying is stop being ignorant. Let us stop being puppets. Let us stop having people covering true facts from us, whether it's about religion, ideas, ideologies, anything. Let's stop being ignorant. Let's stop the fear. Let us stop the hatred. Let us stop the violence.